This episode of FSM is brought to you by Fidelity Behavioral Alliance, your number one source for behavior change. Fidelity Behavioral Alliance creates behavior change programs for schools, parents, and organizations looking to reduce problem behaviors and improve performance outcomes. Find out more at www.fidelitybehavioralalliance.com. If you would like to sponsor an episode of FSM, email us at shitmom@gmail.com. That's shxtmom@gmail.com.
It's time to put the kids to bed, so y'all get ready for another episode of For Shitty Moms.
All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of FSM. I'm your host, Dr. Lori, and today we have a special guest joining us, an inspiring powerhouse who's redefining what it means to age beautifully and confidently. Melissa Baton is the founder and the CEO of Belise Beauty, a woman and minority-owned skincare brand that's putting mature women, especially women of color, at the center of the beauty conversation with a mission to nourish, uplift, maturing skin through clean, inclusive skincare. Melissa's work extends beyond just products. She's also preparing the next generation with her children's line, Little Naturalz, which has even helped clear up common skin irritations like hand, foot, mouth disease. From tackling the overlooked needs of hormonal skin to creating a space where beauty evolves with grace, Melissa is leading the charge in age-inclusive, melanin-aware skincare, and she's just getting started. And the most incredible part is that she's building this legacy while being a mom of 3 and a wife. So let's dive into her journey, her vision, and how she's changing the beauty game from the inside out. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Wow. You have me tearing up over here. That's so sweet. Hi. Oh my gosh.
All right, Mel.
Oh,
Well, thank you
wow.
so much for joining us on the show today. And I just want to introduce you to the audience. And first of all, first and foremost, tell us your basic information. So your name, where you're from, describe your family size to us, and then kind of explain what a day in the life of Melissa looks like.
Okay. First of all, Lori, Dr. Lori, thank you so much for having me, even asking for me to be a part of this wonderful and needed show. Because mommyhood, there are no directions. So
Right.
you're just out there.
Exactly.
You're out there creating your own world and
Right.
hopefully saving for the therapy that the kids might need eventually.
Right.
They gotta work
Right.
through whatever you don't do right. They're
Right.
it's gonna get into their thread, into their DNA. So that's a
Absolutely.
reality. So we have to do the best we can because we're imprinting,
Yeah,
every
most
single
definitely.
day. When you're not even talking, you're imprinting. Somebody's watching.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I have, like you said, 3. I like that saying 3 children, but actually, my little ones, my biological little people, are 4 and 6. I have a son, Mekkai, that's 4, and my daughter, Sivan, is 6. And then I have a bonus child that
Mm-hmm.
is almost 30.
Oh,
Yeah, it might be
wow.
30 now. Yeah, I think he's 30 now. Yeah,
Okay.
and but it's just I could not ask for a better job at this point as far as being the mom. The mom is like a premier, exciting thing for me. So I really enjoy it.
Good. I'm glad
You'll
to
have
hear
to guide
that.
me. You have to
Yeah.
guide me because I get lost in the melee of and so I'm going to count on you to keep us on course.
Right. No problem. So, can you tell us your current occupation?
Sure, sure. So actually, I've also been in real estate into design, interior design, and rehab, construction of homes, beautifying. I've been in that world, and uh, before that, I was managing really high-end buildings and properties in California, and Sunset Plaza and other parts of Culver City and West Hollywood. So really notable high end uh, places, really beautiful buildings, and just a really good opportunity. I've always been creative though, so
Mm-hmm.
I've always been into the creation of products. I've always made things for my skin, for fun, and I make different type of recipes and meals to do certain things with the body. So I've always been creating.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, I work with a company that makes gorgeous textiles and for high-end buildings. And so I have like my clients are like really high-end designers, interior designers that do like elaborate homes,
Okay.
for celebrities or special buildings or projects like that. So that's kind of my day job.
Mm-hmm.
And until I guess I'm really, comfortable enough to say, okay, I'm jumping out of the airplane,
Right.
But right now I'm enjoying that I started building Belly's Beauty because of the hand mouth foot thing. And
Mm-hmm.
having kids, once you have kids, you see things, the whole world changes. So I
Right.
was fine doing my little interior design stuff and projects, but I realized now I have these little people that I'm in charge of what happens in their life, what happens with their bodies,
Right.
and that was the main thing as I start realizing all of the chemicals and things out there. And I said, okay, I'm working during the day, but at night it's a whole different mission.
Oh
So at the end of the
wow.
day, when they're in bed, that's when my products come out. That's when I do all my research, I'm reading and doing a lot of stuff I have been doing, enjoying quietly, learning about the antimicrobial principles of certain foods
Mm-hmm.
and what we can do on the skin is amazing. And so a lot of these things, I really start realizing the importance of it when there was a breakout at Mekkai school. I
Okay.
think it was 2023
Mm-hmm.
and I panicked. I didn't know what hand, mouth, foot was, and I was like, "What is this about? What?" And all I know is the daycare lady contacted us, all the moms, and she said, "Come and get your children now. I don't need to scare you, but there's a hand, mouth, foot. There's a
Oh
breakout,
gosh.
and the school is closing for 10 days, and we'll be looking for you in the next 30 minutes. Please send you either come or send your nanny, whoever, but come get the kids." And we're like, "What?" So we run out. Of course, I ran out, got
Yeah.
Makai home. And for those 10 days, he was fine. It was great. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, God, they caught it in time. I asked the mother who we found out which mom her kid was infected. And so I wrote her privately and told her I was so sorry to hear that happened and if she had pictures, because I was just wondering, my curious, you
Mm-hmm.
know, alchemistic mind, I can go home and make something to help this woman. I need to see what's happening. So she was kind enough to actually send me photos. And when I saw those photos, Dr. Lori, I was in tears for
Yeah.
this one 2 minutes. I was like, oh my God. And she has other kids, highly contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's itching, it's boils, it's like little boils all over their skin. It can
Mm-hmm.
pop up anywhere. And if you don't do anything about it, it just spreads. Pretty much the pediatricians are like, oh, we're sorry you got that. It's just a virus and there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
So she's gone to two different pediatric centers and talked to her doctors. They pretty much sent this woman home and said, sorry, and hope you didn't affect the rest of the school because
Yeah.
everybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
And that's just what's going to happen. And I was like, oh my God. So I was panicked by that. So, mind you, it's like day 5 or 6. Makai
Mm-hmm.
has no signs. I didn't know anything before that. But now, every night between, I don't know, midnight and 3, I'm now reading and writing notes and doing all this research because I said, that's it, I'm going to make a cream because if something breaks off in here, I'm going to have something to put on it because I have
Right.
a daughter, I have a husband that doesn't need to get anything.
Right.
Men get stuff. I mean, let's be real. Men get injured. They get a little cold. Love them to death. They're wonderful creatures. They do wonderful things in our world, and we couldn't live without our wonderful
Right.
partners in crime. But we don't want them getting sick or injured if we can
Right.
help.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that was the last thing I wanted. And apparently, when this virus hits adults, it's worse.
Oh, okay. I didn't
It's
know that.
really so it can be painful. It is painful. It can appear in really weird, uncomfortable places we won't even say on screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets
Okay.
that bad for adults. And so I was like, this is craziness. So sure enough, Makai was good. By day 10, I think day 11, it was a weekend. So day 11 or 12, time to go back to school. I had an appointment in Santa Barbara. So I was like, okay, I'll drop him off on my way. I get to the school. I turn to look at him in the back seat, looking so cute and excited. And then he goes, So, mommy, oh, the spider webs are coming. And I said, what? Yeah,
Spider
mosquito
web.
bites and spider webs. I said, what are you talking about? So I get out of the car. I go, I'm not even thinking about this thing. I
Mhm.
go to the back seat, I go to open his door, and I look down at his little arm, and there's like two, they just two, like, it didn't look like little spider webby bumps coming. It was
Okay.
ugly. Two red patches. They were like growing, waking up in
Oh.
front of me. It was the craziest thing. And then he had two fingers, the ring finger and the little pinky. The two
Mhm.
fingers had bumps, like some little bumps on them. And I was like, what? Just a
Uh-oh.
couple? And I was like, oh my
Uh
God. And the child care provider came right to the car when I was going, ah. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Melissa. Mekkai has it. That's
Oh
it.
no.
Don't worry about it. We got to go. And she goes, huh? I said, bye. I said, Mackay's crying, Mommy, I want to go to school today. I've been home. I said, no, but we
Oh.
can't be here today. So he cried the whole time. I said, I have treats at home though. I race home. I had Lysol spray products ready because you have to
Mhm.
spray everything out constantly,
Yeah.
anything they touch. You have to be really neurotic. I think that's the only reason I saved myself and the husband and my daughter because I was the neurotic one. Because literally anywhere he went, I was like, shh, you clean
Right.
leaves and then you quarantine him to a certain spot in the house. Okay, you can watch, Peppa, you can watch Peppa Pig and you can look at Bluey, but you do not move from this section of the living room. This is
Mhm.
your. And then my husband came in, what's going on? I said, Mekkai has that thing. Don't go near him. Wish him love from afar. Blow kisses. I don't need you up on him, giving him love, like
Right.
great parents do. You can't do that right now. He goes, well, how?
Oh.
I said, because I'm a different species. You cannot, but I can be close. No.
Oh. Right.
And so I already had my directions. I had purchased some things just in case. So I literally went into the refrigerator and pulled out all of my items, sanitized the countertop and everything, of course, made my environment very clean as if I
Mhm.
was in
A
a ER
lab.
somewhere, a lab. And then I put all my items out. I had my recipe out and I began to make the concoction that I had been studying about
Mhm.
and there was no concoction, mind you. It just was I'd been studying about foods,
Okay.
different things that could help. And then I created my own recipe, of adventure. And I said, okay, we're going in, honey, because I am not having my kid be a speckled little leopard because
Right.
all they tell you to do with that thing is calamine lotion. And
Yeah.
calamine lotion hyperpigments, which means it leaves dark spots behind.
Mhm.
It does not clear. So any little kid, like that little kid that had it before, that poor baby, I haven't checked on his mom. I need to check. He probably has spots everywhere still. So
Okay.
maybe because he's little, they might go away, but
Mhm.
usually they leave behind, the darkness. So
Right.
I was scared about that. So I started making this cream and then I videoed it, so I have video of all this, and I'm like, okay, everybody, da da da, this is what we're making. And Mekkai was such a great little actor, so he wasn't feeling any pain at this point because,
Right.
mind you, it just started. That was day one.
Okay.
I caught it day one.
Yeah, you caught it early. That's
Yeah,
good.
caught it early, and so I made the cream and I started applying the cream on him 3 times a day and videoing every time I did it. By day 3, they were drying out, disappearing. The little stuff was just disappearing. It
Okay.
didn't even really get to it can get to where it crusts over those bumps.
Uh-huh.
His didn't get to that point because I guess I was on it right away.
Okay.
So that was amazing. So to have the video and him going, Mommy, look, they're almost gone. You
Right.
don't even see, he was even mesmerized by it. And I was so happy. And then I didn't share it with anyone
Mhm.
other than people. I said, oh, yeah, I made this cream and stuff, because I was still feeling, who am I? I'm not a PhD. I'm
Right.
not a chemist. My husband's a chemist. I'm like, that's not my world.
Uh-huh.
So the last thing I want to do is start talking about putting something out there that I'm not sure if it's safe for other people, but it's my kid and it worked for us.
Mhm.
So I had that in my back pocket. I thought about it and I shared it. And some people are like, no, girl, there's nothing out there. You need to help people with that. You
Right,
need to,
because the doctors do just send you home like it's a virus, it'll pass, let it run its
Mhm.
course, and that's it. Yeah.
That's it. They don't tell you anything. So now I have this cream. It's called Creme de Mekkai. So Belly's Beauty is a American brand, of course. It's my little baby spirit child, but
Mhm.
at the same time, I have a love for the French aesthetic. I like their idea of the homey
Beauty.
vibe and the
Okay.
fresh, the unity, the cleanliness of the products and their fruits and vegetables. Just they do it a little differently,
Okay.
and I like that. So that kind of infused, and I've always been into the French culture. I used to be a
Mhm.
part of a French club. So funny. And I speak a little French, but not a lot. I'm learning more. And the company I'm with is French now too. So it's kind of,
Okay.
it all just lined up. And so Creme de Mekkai, which just means Mekkai cream, is the one that has stronger antimicrobial things in it
Okay.
for the hand, mouth, foot. And I can make it in different levels. So I'm actually customizing too. I don't know how long I'll be able to do that before it
Mhm.
gets too crazy. But
Mhm.
because I'm still a startup and new, I now have mommies that call. They literally ask, "This is what's going on. My kid has eczema, and it's
Yeah.
breaking out, and there's nothing." And I have a creme de Sivan. Sivan had eczema
Okay.
as a baby, and she still has a little bit here and there. She breaks out. So I made a cream too, all natural, vegan based, that soothes the eczema and helps.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's
Okay.
really nice. So both of the creams are they
Mhm.
ameliorate the situation. They
Okay.
make uh, hand, mouth, foot. I don't say it's a cure. What
Right.
I say is that it will get in, it will start drying it out, it will localize it. So it keeps it from spreading. So I'm kind of excited about that. I was able to keep, I recently had another young girl that had to use my creams, and we got it on day one,
Oh,
and
good.
she had the things in her mouth. So I
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
most definitely.
So I made something for that with popsicles. So that's fun. That's another day, another story.
Oh, okay, cool.
You
Okay.
saved her, yeah, and in two, not even 30 minutes, it
Uh-huh.
started to heal the bumps in her mouth.
Okay, so you're like really big on the homeopathic. That's what I'm getting. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
some
yes.
moms do the crafting. You're with the homeopathic.
Yes, I'm a crafter too, but now
Okay.
I have merged into I come back into crafting for birthday parties, for the kids' parties.
Okay.
But other than that, I am really enjoying this because it's so rewarding to
Mhm.
see people's skins, heal, that I'm actually helping them heal and stop, spreading of these viruses where there's nothing for it. So
Right. So, how in the world do you do all of this and you still work like a full-time job? Do you have a life? Like, what's happening
yes,
right now? I'm hearing a
I
lot.
I know, I know. See, I'm hearing not. How do you get up? You know what's funny? I know I feel so bad. I missed Boots on the Ground party last night. I'm so sorry, Sylvia.
Oh.
My girlfriend had her party, and Sivine got a little ill last night. Had a little fever, and she has a party today. And I'm trying to see if she's well enough to go out. She's
Mhm.
better today, but so much. I think I do. I enjoy life. I do go out and do things with my friends, but yeah, I try to have fun. I try to find, I get out, I do things with the kids. So there's still things that go on,
Mhm.
but it's kind of busy. And I think the job where I am is outside sales. So I
Okay.
make my own schedule. It's usually during the day, I'm doing things, having appointments or calling or talking with people. And then some days it's mainly phone work, but I use that time for work. So I
Okay.
usually don't go into this mode until after 5 or like weekends. So
Okay.
that's the difference. And you have to time block. I mean, it sounds crazy, but you have to plan because yeah, otherwise I'd be somewhere in a little lab in the kitchen and my kids are growing up and they're like, "Mom, I'm now 15 years old. I'm about to get my learner's permit. And you haven't been out of the kitchen in 6 years." I don't
Right.
want to be that person. So you have to plan and you have to create time for these different things. So right now it's okay.
Mhm.
Eventually I probably will have to reorg, but I try to manage my time. And I have
So,
older parents. So and that's another thing
so
I'm doing all the time. So
So, would you say, like, your current job with the sales? And I ask this because sometimes I have moms who are just curious about other occupations and trying to
yes.
make a transition or a pivot. So, would you say you work in a mom friendly industry? What does that look like for you with the two
Oh,
little ones, especially?
wow, that's a really great question. So I want to say that um, with this in the outside sales, in that design, in that world, it's kind of friendly. It's okay. It's not a lot of women.
Okay.
It's not bad. I wanna say in the skincare world, I mean, most of these brands have been, men have run the companies, and, it's a very for many years, it's been a very male-dominated, world until you had, like, Rihanna and some other people who have come into the makeup sector. So if I'm going
Mm-hmm.
into the makeup world, I'll say that, yes, it's now becoming more about us, and hello, shouldn't it be about us? We're the largest consumers
Right.
of the
Absolutely.
products. So, I'm excited about that. But yes, it's still pretty much male, a big male presence.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we're coming through. We're coming through, and it's really great.
Okay.
My wonderful, I want to say my horoscope sister, Rihanna, is also Piscean.
Okay.
And so, and I also sing. So maybe I'm doing some mirroring
Channeling your
here.
Rihanna.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my products first, and I'll get to singing a song
Oh.
later. I'll get back to that later.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I gotta save the kids. I gotta save, and it's also, Lori, I'm gonna be honest, it's also some vanity there because you know for many years I modeled and I did things that I was in front of a camera a lot and on runways, and so you get used to being and looking a certain way. You just,
Uh-huh.
it just happens that way. But when you're getting older and when your body starts changing, when things are hormonally changing, I want to say things that aren't so much in your control, you
Mm-hmm.
have to work harder to be creative. And I saw that in our space in the cosmetics and because I also make makeup as well, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm focused on the skincare because you need to have the outside right before you start putting things on your skin. You need to have your face in order.
Yeah,
So I
most
want to take care
definitely.
of the skin first. But there isn't a lot of stuff for more melanated skin.
Mm-hmm.
And there are now. There's people are it's changing. It's getting better in the last 5 years. I'd say 10 years, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not 10. I'm going to say 5 because it's getting where it's palatable, where you
Okay.
can actually put it on and not
Yeah.
look like you have a white
Oh,
mask.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite right a few
Yeah,
years
that
ago.
is true. I remember,
Yeah.
you're right, because a few years ago, and by a few, I mean like maybe a little more than 5 years ago, I took a couple of classes to become like a makeup artist. And even in the classes, you practice on each other.
Hmm.
And I did a class, and I'm like, okay, I look dead. Like, and at the
Exactly.
time, that was like our safe space. We had to have all of these hours. And now that I think about it, the beauty academy that I attended, I was like one of two
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
African Americans in the whole class. So,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
they make you partner up. Nobody wants to be our partner
Right. And it was like,
because
oh my
they
gosh,
don't
how
know
am I
what
going
to
to do
do.
her? And what do
Yeah.
I do her say? Oh my gosh, she's so pretty, but I don't know
Right.
what am I gonna. How do
Right.
I?
So that was
And
like the
yeah,
worst experience ever. And every time I'm like, okay, I look gray. I look olive.
yeah,
I look
yeah,
it like
absolutely,
I don't like
absolutely.
this. And even the instructor was like, oh, well, a lot of our products have something called mica in it. And sometimes, when it settles and when the skin oxidizes, like, I don't care. I don't
Yeah, I just
like
don't
that I
want to be
look
here.
gray.
Right? I don't care the process. What are you guys gonna throw up in there to make it, make it more
Yeah,
my
and
color?
the answer was nothing, like nothing. That's
Exactly.
that's how they make it, and that's what it is. So back then, like the only thing that we really had to work with was like Mac.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which is also a lot of talc. I like MAC, and
yeah,
they've come around, and I think they're making more mineral products. But that was like I want to say the 90s
yeah,
to the 2000s. I was like, okay, this is cute. I like their the eyeshadows and different things like that.
mm-hmm.
But the coloring was still
A
it was
little
still
off.
talc based. So
Yeah.
that's what's bringing the gray. It's TALC.
Okay.
Talc is so inexpensive, and it's a filler of most products because
Okay.
of its ability. Same thing with mineral oil, which I don't like either. Mineral oil
Okay.
is also another product that is a filler. It's less expensive, so you'll find it in oils and stuff. And basically, once you have it on, later it's drying. It dries your skin out. So
Mm.
you think you're lubricating, but later it's going to become drier.
Oh wow, that's
So it's
interesting.
really, really strange. And talc is just, it's like a powder. So
Yeah.
they're right. It's the mica that they were using in the beginning, I believe, was more of a white, just a basic powder. And
Okay.
now you're seeing differences because they're starting to use more pigment, which is
Gotcha.
color.
Okay.
Pigment. You put more color into a product, then it will sustain. You'll get to see more of that. But pigment is expensive.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
they were not wanting to make for the masses this expensive product. And that's something to keep in mind. Whenever you're making this is what I like. I like to say my products are for every woman. They're for everyone that's aging because we have hormonal changes. But what I say is I pay attention specifically to the melanated skin because by doing that, now check this out. By doing that, we are elevating every product, every piece of the product when you make a product based for melanated skin.
Mm-hmm.
Everything now has to be a step above, several steps above, because there are other pieces that you have to add to properly layer and make the beauty that is us when
Right.
you put these products on. So when you do that for melanated skin, you change the game. Even when you put certain SPFs, you need to do certain things to make sure it's not going to make us gray and
Yeah.
white again. But when you
Yeah.
do that, you're elevating it. It's a little bit more expensive of a process when you think about it that way
Yeah.
until it becomes more normalized, I think. And that's why I'm so excited about, the stuff Rihanna's done. And, I think there's some other, I keep just saying Rihanna, what can I
Mm-hmm.
say? But I think that that has changed the game. I think, what's the other, there's another brand that I like a lot too. Armani, I think, has done some changes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some other ones. I think Estee Lauder's trying. There's
Yeah,
some of
they
them that
have
are trying to
one. Yeah.
include, yeah, Lancome. They're trying to do more of this, melanated or more of a pigment.
Yeah.
But there's still quite a bit of talc, so you have to play in between those lines.
Yeah. And it seems like
That's
they just need a little more education out
yeah,
there as well. Like I just don't understand how melanated skin is so such
yeah,
a mystery for these
yeah, yeah.
companies.
So,
Like this is a $1 billion industry, and
but
you
yet
see
there are tanning
people.
sprays that can give you the effect.
Right.
You can go get a
Yeah.
tanning spray and be my complexion. You're complete. Look like
Yeah,
us with a
exactly.
tanning product.
And
So
you
of
don't know how
course,
to make like
right. So makeup tanning.
basic, like you said, SPF. I just found an SPF this year, and I had to go to my nurse practitioner, and she's black, and I finally found an SPF, and I didn't even know they made it that high, like SPF 75.
Yeah,
So
75.
she has me wearing like an SPF now that I can wear with my makeup or without it. I don't
Oh
look
my
gray. I don't look
Belly's beauty's
greasy.
coming. You don't look greasy. I'm also making a special one that is actually, and it's so funny. I came up with this idea a year ago,
Mhm.
but I've been too busy. I hadn't gotten to it yet. So now this year, I'm starting to work on my SPF setting spray
Okay,
that has
cool. Oh,
pigment. It's
nice.
really cool. And I stated this to a person in the industry, a friend of mine, last year. And then just a few months ago, I saw something trying to come out similar. I was like, oh my God, Did he tell someone? Because it's nowhere. It wasn't out there.
Uh-huh.
And now and all of a sudden it's coming. And, I take a chance saying stuff out loud, but I'm already working on it now and I'm getting ready to probably experiment with it. And I'll be
Mhm.
coming to Florida to visit soon. And I probably will have some with me. And you will probably have a little bit
Oh,
there with you to
cool.
try.
Okay,
So
cool.
I want to get, and there's a couple things I'm planning to bring, and I want to bring you one of the masks and some other stuff that you can use and see on your skin. But there's no reason. It's just prioritizing.
Mhm.
I think it just wasn't a priority, to be honest. Um, but now it's changing because we have more people with different types of skin types and color, and
Mhm.
now they're realizing, wait a minute, and then we can make our own things. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of like why I'm here
Yeah.
because it's okay. Don't rush to the table now because I got it.
And I do think it's important to have representation
Yes,
because it makes a huge difference when you
totally,
have someone who understands the challenges that we have with our skin. I
exactly.
feel like within the last 5 years or so, hyperpigmentation is like
Yes,
a now it's well known and people talk about it all the time. Before you would never hear anything
yeah,
about it, and certain options to like even skin tone were
hmm hmm
like you just hear about, oh, skin bleaching, and then that's something that's taboo. It's so bad, it's so
right,
this, it's so that.
right,
So I think the educational piece is just as important as just raising the awareness in the first place, because for the longest, like I just started wearing, I hate to say this, I just started wearing sunscreen like this year. And my dermatologist is like, "What are you doing?" And I'm
What?
like,
See, that's
and
because you probably thought, "Oh, I don't need,
yeah, like
I
I'm
have more
melanated,
melanin.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm melanated. I don't need anything." But no, and that's one of the things that no one really talks about. But then you get, African Americans or, people with more melanin, you get us getting cancers like in between the fingers, or they're
Mhm.
finding out they have it somewhere not so prominent on the body because you can still get skin cancer.
Yeah, and that's
Still
what
get
she
those
told me, and I'm
things.
like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah. You're like, "What are you saying?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Are you kidding?" So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, that was an eye
Education.
opener. So now I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah,
let me like I am vigilant now
yeah,
about wearing sunscreen, and I honestly it's still not because my nurse practitioner or my doctor told me.
yeah.
Me, I have that science background, so I'm like
Mhm,
climate
mhm.
change is real. Our
That's
ozone
right.
layer is thinning. The UV
Yes.
rays from the sun are now like a lot
Exactly. They
stronger.
are closer. They are we are turning into Mercury here.
Right. So
This is
now,
now,
like, my
yeah.
scientific brain is
Oh,
telling me to wear
exactly.
sunscreen, not your doctor just told you, like, fool, you have skin, you can get
Yes.
skin cancer. Like,
Isn't that
that
something?
wasn't good
Yeah.
enough.
So here you are. It's because your science background that you're listening. So imagine all the people that don't have
Right.
any of the science background who are still like, "Girl, bye. I'm
Yeah,
not spending more." That's one thing I don't have to spend money on. It's like, no, if you're out in the sun, if
you
you're taking your
should.
kids out in the sun and you're going to the beach and the sun is closer. We're getting more rays. It's a lot more. Well, you would know this better than I would. It is a lot more dangerous now in the
Yeah.
sense of the sun damage and what we can be doing to ourselves. So it's important to try to, put things on. So, whew,
Yeah, that
it's
prevention
important.
is definitely important, and I even try to
Yeah,
tell my son, like, he's older, he's
yeah,
at preteen right now, he's 12, so now I'm including that in our daily routines because I've been trying to get him to learn how to take care of himself, take care of his body. So now it's like, okay, that's a part of your daily routine.
that's great.
Wash your
That's
face, brush your teeth, take a shower. Okay, lotion, deodorant. Okay, do you have an SPF before we go outside? Are your arms and legs covered
great.
depending on what we're doing? Do you have a hat? So, all
That's
of
great.
those
That's
steps,
important.
I'm kind of taking it as a safety precaution, but I want that to be a part of his routine because
Mm-hmm.
these are
Mm-hmm.
things that I didn't think about when I was his age, but the
Right.
world is different now, right? And when you know
That's right.
better, you do better.
You do better.
Yeah. So
That's
with
so
that,
funny.
like,
You
how
do
do you
better.
tie this in? I know you said like you had Mekkai with you while you were trying out the different things, but
Mm-hmm.
like as a
Mm-hmm.
mom, how do you integrate these philosophies and this sort of teaching in your
Mm-hmm.
household to make sure your kids pick up these habits and
That's a
make
great.
it a habit as opposed to them having to
Mhm.
learn it like we're learning it as adults
Right.
now. So what does
Right.
that look like for you?
Right. That's a great question. I think probably the most important way to convey relevance with anything that you're trying to get a little person to do is by doing it yourself.
Okay.
By them seeing me uh, getting ready in the morning, me putting my creams on, my serums. Now I'm using my own products, so I'm putting on the serum and I'm doing different things for my skin, and then I put the cream on. But we do the same thing. My husband and I do the same for them when we get them ready in the morning. It's like, okay, after they've been washed up, and now right after face washing, I also do a warm towel wipe on them in the mornings when they're getting ready to have breakfast. I do another little wipe down,
Mhm.
and at that point, after that, the cream comes out. They know that they're getting sunscreen. They know
Okay.
that. So that's a part. If we try to leave or walk out of the door, even like on a weekend or something, doing like, "Mommy, do we have enough sunscreen on me?" They know
Mhm.
now.
Okay.
So it's like you do just what you're doing. You make it a part of a system,
Okay.
and you don't have to make it difficult. You don't have to make it deep and heavy. You can get a fun sunscreen. Well, Little Naturals is the children's version of my line.
Mhm.
So Little Naturals with a Z. That will also I'm making there. I'm also making a nice mineral, a pretty easy sunscreen that you can put on that also has some nano oxide, which is the powder that's graying, the white. that it actually has the ability to keep the sun away, but it's a natural product. And so there's natural things that we can do. And then when you have it there, you're able to take care of your kid and make it a system and make it fun. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to do this. And that's really the best way to train them on anything is they're going to do what they see you do. If you want your kid to read more, they need to see you reading.
Mm. Yeah,
At times,
absolutely.
anything you want them to do. And I'm guilty of that too. I'm so busy, but I'm like, oh, I want her to read some more books. So let me go take that book out that I was reading about this new product I want to do. I'm just going to go over here
Reading
and
in
sit
front of her.
with
And I just said
you.
I was going to do that because my kid acts like a book is like his kryptonite. Like, why would I do that?
Ah, that's funny.
So I do a lot of like audio books, and I'm like, you need to read, you need to, and I'm like, wait a minute, he doesn't see me reading, so
Yeah,
let me
yeah,
check myself first, and
yep,
let's
yep,
just make that the norm in the house. Like, we'll
exactly,
get a physical
exactly.
book, we'll go to the store, we'll go to like the bookstore or the beach and kind of chill out.
Yes,
So
yes,
once he's able to see me doing it, now
exactly,
hopefully he'll pick up those habits. So, how would you
exactly.
describe yourself as a mom?
I am. I think I'm probably a helicopter mom that's trying to let go of some of that. I
Okay.
could be a little bit, oh, okay, watch those stairs. If you fall, you could bust your head open, and then we're going to end up in an emergency, and this is going to happen, and then you're going to have this little scar. I'm going to have to make something to try to fix that scar, or else you're going to forever be scarred. And that little scar is going to be across your front of your head, and that could all have been prevented if you realize the stairs are not for playing. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm one of those, and then at the same time, I'm the cool mom. They like to have ice cream, so we have, most kids only get ice cream on the weekends. My kids get it every couple days or so, every other day if they want it. A little ice cream here after dinner or something, because my
Okay.
husband is a big ice creamer. So
Okay.
if you have someone that, again, if kids are seeing what goes down
Mhm.
in the household and you're trying to tell them, but for them it's a different story,
Right.
well, that probably won't work.
Yeah.
So if you see, so how I modulate that, I'm like, well, daddy might have it every day, or some he's vegetarian, so he might be getting his dairy, whatever,
Mhm.
he's telling me that.
Yeah, it's
But
a
that's
health
not how.
component to it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll come up with some reason for that, but we're not doing that.
Uh-huh.
You guys aren't gonna have it every single day, so it's gonna be special. So I'm learning that I can let them have a little fun with what they want, but then I also have to add some type of, you know, barometer there too. You gotta help your kids you gotta navigate with them,
Mhm. Yeah.
not just always to them. You do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do, I realize. So I think I'm a good mom that's learning to kind of adapt. Our kids are not growing up in the time that we grew up in,
Right.
so I think Mekkai was able to turn on and off an iPad, his little, what is it? Yeah, his little iPad.
Mhm.
He was able to turn that thing on and off. He knew how to go and find things and move things around the screen. He's only 4.
Mm.
He was at 3. He was able to navigate things
Yeah.
and move things and understand. So we learn differently. So I think I'm pretty good with, realizing that this is a modern world. This is, not,
How we
the
grew
day we
up.
grew up in,
Yeah, most
and
definitely.
you have to control it. You can't let them be on these computers all the time, every day, every minute,
Right.
but they are in their lives. It is a part of their life. So you just have to, try to be your best self and work on self. I feel like I do have a lot going on.
Mhm.
I have a lovely therapist that is kind of like my little, personal helper, personal assistant. If I have a
Okay.
lot going on, I just need to talk to somebody about some things. So I advocate that. A lot of people, don't understand the idea of therapy, or they say, "Oh no, I have the Bible, or I have God, and I don't need it,"
Mhm.
and all that. And that's great. You can have God. It doesn't have anything to do with having a therapist, though. But it is really fun to have someone that you can talk to
Okay.
about things that you're trying to work through to
Right.
be a better version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And nowadays, it's easier to access that.
Yeah,
There's,
most
there's
definitely.
apps. There's people that are online to help people. So if you can't go somewhere, like I don't go anywhere for it because I'm
Mhm.
so busy, but I can, call her up. I can plan a date, and we see each other online and talk about things. And we do it that way, and
Okay.
that's been really helpful.
Okay. And then, so what are some of the challenges that you're facing right now as a parent? Like, what are your top three?
Oh, boundaries. I
Okay.
think number one, boundaries. Number two, boundaries. Number three, boundaries.
Oh, wow. Okay. So elaborate. What do you mean by boundaries?
Okay, so I shouldn't say all three. Maybe two boundaries and one love yourself, just self love. Remembering that we are, as long as we're doing what we need to do through love and through respect of ourselves and the little people that you're trying to raise, then you're doing okay.
Okay.
It's I think we beat ourselves up too much. We think, oh my gosh, like we're trying to be so perfect. There
Mm-hmm.
is no perfection.
Right.
There is no perfect parent. There's only loving parents that work hard and try to make a difference, and then parents who don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're either a parent that dials in and tries to be there and part of your kid's life and make sure that they're able to come to you, and if you're not so good with that, then you make sure you have a family member or therapist, or you have someone that can help the
Yeah.
child get through those parts that you maybe can't get through. So I think that's important. Boundaries would be like, they're so cute. I think that's natural selection that they come here all cute and stuff.
Right.
And so when they're really cute like that, and mommy, I want mommy, please. And they have that little face
Oh,
and that
you
little
can't say
look. And then
no.
they do have you seen what is the one pause? What's the movie with
Like Puss in Boots, the big
Puss
eyes.
in Boots, thank you. The big eyes. And so the kids have this way of like they give you that look and you're like, "Oh my god, okay, one more cookie, and that's it. Damn it, I need
Okay.
and no more cookies." And I realized you gotta be a little bit, it's like, "No," so I'm learning to just say, "You know, honey, I know you love the cookies, but you just had 2. Remember we said 2 was the limit today. So we're gonna leave it at that, and let's go do blah, 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 blah. Well, I just want if
Mm.
you don't let me" it's like, "You know what? Okay," and you try to distract. You say, "Look, we're gonna do this. Mommy wants to do. Have you seen this? Look, there's this new movie out.
Okay.
It's from Disney. Let's go do that. Let's do something else. Let's just distract ourselves and be okay with the kid being upset with you for a little bit." And I think
Gotcha.
that's something too. We don't
Okay.
want to be we don't want to upset them, or we don't want them to be mad at us, and then we don't want to feel like we let them down.
Mhm.
At least that's my issue. I can't say that's everybody's issue.
Okay.
You feel like, and then I realized, I said, you know what? You have to. It looks better and it's more impressive later for the kid if you learn to show them boundaries.
Yeah,
Because if you
absolutely.
just show them that there's no, if I can just complain and just act crazy enough, and mom will bring that cookie box
Yeah.
back out. Yeah,
But
you can't do it that way
yeah, in
because
the world of behavior therapy, I always call that like that slot machine parenting. You kind of fall
right,
into that
right,
category, and
like
really
that.
what's happening there, we call it a variable ratio of reinforcement. So
I
what that means is kind of like the slot machine. Like I put my coin in, I pull the lever, and like,
Yep,
oh, I could get that reward. Nope, not
yep,
this time. Let me try again. Let me try again. Let me try again. And then you hit big, and it's like, all
yep.
right, great. Now I'm gonna try again, and I'm gonna try again, and I'm gonna try 10 more times because I just might get that reward. So
Right, right, and then you create that's exactly I like that, the
and
slot
they
machine is
become
very
more persistent. Like, I'm gonna wear her down. I'm
right,
gonna get
right,
that
I'm gonna wear
cookie.
her down. Yep, I'm gonna get some more of that, and
Yeah.
that's true. We do it. And that's that I think so boundaries, um, accepting that there is no perfect parent, we're not perfect.
Mhm.
And 3, being cool and confident enough to go get help. Like,
Okay,
if
I like
you need
that.
someone to talk to, if you need a professional, if you're fortunate enough to have good family or someone in the family
Mhm.
that has this extra knowledge and can help you, then use that.
Yeah.
It's about not being, caught up in this old age adage of, the Lord gets me through it all, and I don't need anybody
Oh
to tell me
yeah.
anything because this is what because that's not you about to have somebody going to therapy at
Yeah.
12. Like my mom never talked to me, but she was always in the room with her hands up, looking up. But she didn't tell me nothing. And, I mean, we have we have
Right.
to realize that God is great, but you have to look outside you got to look at the people that God put in your world that studied hard to be there to
Yeah,
help you and to
most
learn. That's
definitely.
all godly, also. People that actually, like yourself, who have taken the time to get doctorates in educational self awareness, helping other people, helping children. That's huge. Everybody
Right.
doesn't do that. So if you have that, so that's of God. God has sent you this person, or whoever you believe in, Buddha. Buddha has brought forth
Mhm.
the idea for this person to study this, to be there to help others.
Yeah.
So we need to dial into that and not be afraid of that,
You're-
because the end result is better humans.
Yeah,
That's what we're
absolutely.
trying to do
And
here.
I
We're
feel like
trying to,
now we're in a time where it's not as taboo
right.
anymore, so people can openly talk about like, oh, I go to therapy, or oh, my therapist, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
slowly becoming a social norm, as opposed to like, oh, you're in therapy, like
Right.
as if
Right.
something is wrong, where sometimes you can do therapy to maintain what you have, or just
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
check in, and sometimes you need someone who's not related to you, to give you an
Exactly.
objective point of view and an
Very
objective
important.
perspective. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly, exactly. That
So,
is so true, and that probably was me. Like, there was a time I probably would have been like, "Oh my gosh, who needs therapy? Oh my gosh, that's."
mm-hmm.
I'm like- And then later, I realized as I evolve, as I am reaching for larger and more fulfilling goals and plans, and a multi-billion-dollar skincare makeup brand, vegan, and things for children. I have all these grandiose ideas and plans, and they can happen. But you have to also make sure you have your headspace in order,
Yeah.
and that you have someone that can relate to you on that level. And yes, outside of family, bless family, but no, you have to have
Yeah.
you have to have
Yeah.
people that are not connected to you in that way to help see what it is that your trajectory, what you're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Because often people that don't see, not everybody's going to see the way you see. Success is different for everyone, and some
Mm-hmm.
people have their own stuff to work through. So you can't go to people that are
Correct.
still that don't have their own stuff together to
Correct.
tell you what you're going to be doing, because that's just a road to
Yeah. Yeah,
a road to nowhere.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you have to do the work, and you have to then put yourself with like-minded people that are,
Absolutely.
trying to get the same types of things that you're doing, and that's real.
Yeah.
And so not being afraid to just, I'm learning to motherhood is amazing, and it's one of the best ways to set you up for doing other very relevant things for yourself that you
Mm-hmm.
want to do. Because when you learn how to navigate the world of raising little people and being there for them, as well as you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah,
So
most definitely.
that's going to become second nature. If
Yeah.
you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of these little
and
people.
and you really have to learn to prioritize taking care of yourself
Yes,
first, so that you can be
yes,
the best, your best self, for those little ones who
absolutely,
are depending on you. So with that
absolutely.
being said, what does your mommy village look like? You spoke of like-minded
Yeah,
individuals. So who pitches in to help you out? You have a lot going on,
yeah.
career wise, and then entrepreneurship and marriage, and trying to have a
Hmm.
social life. What does your mommy village look like? How do you navigate all of these different uh, circles that
Hmm.
you're a part of?
That's another terrific question there, because what I'm finding is I'm a mom who, a late bloomer, I'll say, because I had my babies later.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of my closest girlfriends, like my little circle, I have a couple of these just amazing,
Mm-hmm.
amazing women in my life. Amazing. I'm really blessed. And one of my main groups, we are, all around the same age, and their kids are all like, 15 or 18, or,
Okay.
and then I have these little babies. So they're there for me whenever they can be. If I'm running something or doing some organization, like, what can we do? Oh, you need this or that. And then I have my bestie who lives in California with me, who has older children too.
Okay.
So it's like I didn't do it at the same time. So it's not like necessarily mommies that I grew up with that knew,
Yeah.
that we're all having babies together, because I did it later.
Uh huh.
So that throws a different spin on it. So my mommy group that is my kids' ages are also wonderful too.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
have mommies that our kids are in the same class, and we do we go get our nails done sometimes. Sometimes we just call each other, girl, how are you doing? So what are you
Mhm.
doing? What's up? Oh my gosh. And so we keep in touch. That helps a lot.
Okay.
Um, I don't, I think the main thing is there's always birthdays or there's parties or there's something going on. So you find yourself keeping up with these other moms that way too.
Okay.
So the kids, we bring our kids together, and that's a good way to let them play, and then we talk. You can do things like that. But I have a really good, I feel like I have a good network if I needed it. But for the most part, little day to day things, that's
Mhm.
on me
Okay.
and my husband, and I have a helper. I have someone that helps, like a nanny that comes and she's with us maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, like
Okay.
towards the end of the day if I'm still working. So that way I can finish up with work. And
Gotcha.
then at 6, I'm back in with the kids. So she helps like from maybe 4 to 6 or three
Okay.
to six.
Gotcha.
I have help. And that helps just that little bit. And that's just Monday through Friday,
Uh-huh.
school time. And yeah, you have to learn to kind of organize your space. And if you can't have someone help you, then you find childcare stuff. You
Oh
find some
yeah.
after school programs. You find things that you can rely on. So we do that too because the after school these days is out by 2 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. It is not conducive for a working mom.
Right, if you're at work, it's like,
It
oh,
is
it's two
not.
o'clock.
Yeah, that's
Excuse me, I
lunchtime
have to leave.
for most of
I'm
us.
Right. It's like, I'm gonna get out of this meeting. I know we're in the middle of a meeting, but my kids are out right now. I'm gonna go get them, and oh, I won't make it back in time. So,
That too. Yeah, car line and all that good stuff, dropping
yeah.
off. Yeah,
Oh my
it's a
goodness. So you
lot.
have to do the after school stuff, which usually kicks in from 2 to 5 or something, or 2 to 6,
Uh-huh.
and that's helpful. But yeah, I think it's important to have a village, and even if your village is just you and one other amazing friend,
Yeah,
your village does not have to be 8 to 12 women deep.
right.
I do
Absolutely.
have a 6. I have one that's 6. I have one that's 4, and then I have a 1. So I've
Mhm.
got different villages,
Mhm.
and but that main thing is if you're nourished by just one amazing friend that can relate to you and help you, or say, okay, I'm coming over, or I'm bringing my kid, or we're gonna come and take your kid, and you just go get your nails done, or whatever. You're having just one good person. That is probably the most important thing. Focus on just having one great person you can help
Depend
you.
on. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you have a village, that's terrific.
Yeah.
But a village is it's a mindset too.
Yeah, because you want to be careful with like who's pouring into your kid
That's
when
right.
you're not around because that's a whole
That's right.
nother.
That's
I
a
feel like,
whole nother show.
yeah, I feel like my husband and I, we're learning how to navigate that
Mhm, mhm.
reality because you never know what other kids you may encounter, other kids who are the same age as your kiddo. So it's like, oh, we should hang out, we should do this. Like if we meet kids on the basketball team and they have
Mhm.
similar interests, it's like, oh, maybe we can hang out. And then you come across these parents, and if their dynamic is a little off, it's like, ooh, what did we step into?
Right, right,
Like
and you're
now
like,
we have to
"Oh,
break
wait,
up with these parents and
yeah, we're gonna have to break up. Oh my
yeah,
god, you gonna tell him? No, I'm not gonna tell him. You
exactly.
found him, you tell him. You walked up to him first."
Yeah, so even my husband and I, like after a few awkward encounters with other
Yeah.
parents, we've
Oh god.
stopped trying to do the whole like, oh, maybe the kids should link up. Like
Yeah,
my
yeah, you
husband and
just
I are like, I think we went to one birthday party and we were having a great time and the kids were getting along, and then something happened and the wife made a comment to her
oh,
husband like, oh, you see
oh,
how he does this, you don't do that. And it was like, honey, I think,
oh.
oh, I think it's time to go.
Right. Oh, man.
Like it
That
was
is
just so
that is the
awkward.
oh my god.
Like your
It's
husband is
really
right there, he can hear you, we can hear you. Like what's happening, what's
yeah,
happening?
what's happening here? And it I'm gonna just suggest something. If that was a good um relationship, possibly, like if the kids and you guys really gelled, it could be, not that you got time for it, but it could be a teaching moment. It could be a chance where later you call Becky and you say, Becky, we really had a great time. We're really having fun, but you know, it was a little difficult to hear blah blah blah. What do you think about that? How did you feel about that? Because it would be nice if we could still hang out. Now, if it's not something you're into that way, then yeah, you just say, it's time to go. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah,
But if
I
it's
think if
something
I would
where,
have had that approach, she probably would have like chewed my head off. So
oh, okay,
we
no,
were just
okay.
like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
that's
this
sad.
is
Okay.
all right. Say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Oh, see,
get
that's
your get your
sad.
party favor. Get your hat.
Get your hat, get your shoes
Time to
on. Let's
go."
go.
Yeah. So now
Oh,
we're just
that's
really,
terrible. I hate when that happens because I feel that's like what's going on in our world too. There's this polarization of just difference
yeah.
where we see something that we don't agree with that wouldn't necessarily fit. And I'm learning about this too. I have a
Mhm.
girlfriend that I know was a uh, I was just say a chumper,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and I was like, okay, for her, there is something in that for her. Now that made me have to think about other aspects of
Correct.
the friendship, and I said, okay, wow, but if she, could she not see it? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And
Right.
then
You go down that rabbit hole of
we start
like,
going down that rabbit hole, and
uh-huh.
then my husband says something to me. He said, honey, you know what? Don't worry about her politics. Don't worry about her that, unless you see that it's taking the friendship on a weird twist of something.
Mhm.
If it
Yeah.
will, but if you can find out, because everything comes to a head. I don't think
Yeah.
she's jumping now. She's not jumping now because
Oh,
now they realize. So that's what happens. People sometimes have to have their own
reality
um,
check. Yeah.
reality check and their own way of seeing what's going on. And if there's a long enough friendship there where there's a love and a value there that you've seen great aspects of this person in there and you know they're good, like she's really a good person. I know that already.
Uh-huh.
So for someone just to have a different idea from you is not necessarily doesn't mean we have to toss them. It might
Mm.
mean that it's an
That
opportunity to
is
talk to
fair.
them and get them to know because it's probably something it's a miseducation. It's just probably something they did not know and no one really gave them the chance to be taught it. So they just stayed thinking the way they were thinking, walking down that rabbit hole they're walking down until someone said, you know what? Didn't you? We just had a great time. Now, what about this, this, and this? Have you thought about this? And they're like,
Mm.
oh, no, well, no, because my grandpa did that,
Yeah.
and grandpa said it was right,
Yeah. This is what I've been told for
and
years
then
and years. Uh-huh.
granny was, yeah, so that's what they did. Well, I never really thought about that. So I had a woman recently who I met in the design world that kind of thing happened. She and I just had a connection. She was great. She's a great designer, but she said straight up who her grandparents were and who they are and who they still are today.
Mm.
And she said, it's just so crazy. And I don't agree with any of that. And she said, what do you think about? So I found that she started calling me and talking with me in a very cool, unapologetic, very straightforward way, and just wanting to talk to me
Mhm.
about my life and what things are like, and then telling me about how she's always felt different,
Okay.
and how we just have to respect each other and change. So in her family, she's that person now. She's the one who's
And
teaching
that's
in
what I
her
was going to
family.
say because I have
That's what
had
she's
some
teaching.
really close friends and I just completely cut them off because I feel like
Mhm.
that piece was missing.
Yeah, yeah,
If you're going to be an ally, don't be an ally to me in my face. Go
right.
take those same ideals to your family and have those
That's right.
conversations.
That's right.
Don't have it
That's
with
right.
me. I live it every day. I don't need to talk about it. I
Right.
want to
I
talk
know
about
what
something
I'm
else.
doing. Right, right. Unless you're trying to get some intel to go help your inner
Right,
circle,
but I
then,
even
and
feel
that's what I
like
felt this woman was doing. She was trying to ask me things to
have that
go
conversation
and go
with
back and
them.
have that
I feel like go
conversation.
do your research. Like don't
Yeah,
ask me. I live it every day.
yeah.
Have that
True.
conversation with your spouse that you won't have those conversations with. Go have
Right,
that
right.
conversation with your spouse. Go have that conversation with your in-laws, right?
Yeah,
Go have
yeah.
that conversation with your family. I don't need to talk about it anymore. This is everyday
Mhm.
life for me.
Right.
So you must really care about that friend because I know I've had some really good friends that I'm like, excuse me, done.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
No,
and
I
figure it
have
out on your own. Like,
sadly, I have some of those where it just, to me, it was like, you understand. You've
yeah,
known me too long. So you figure that out and let me know. But the ones who do the extra mile, I have a lot of friends that were like, wait, 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 I want to be better. So
Okay,
those are the
good.
ones that I have more of that than the other, thank
Gotcha. Oh,
God.
that's good.
So it's a good thing because I see how it has shaped who they are,
Uh-huh.
and how they're helping their other they're helping friends and family that didn't see things. They're not like, oh, well, I didn't know. And so it
Mhm.
feels crazy, and at the same time it feels hopeful because again,
Gotcha.
we're being told that things are so this, but there's a lot of more of people, there's a lot more of us having likeness in the
Mhm.
world than it is
And I
dislike.
guess geography has a lot to do with it as well because
Yeah,
we do not have that experience. We are in South Florida. We are down
yeah,
south and
yeah,
it is the twilight zone here to the point
yeah.
where
Oh
even
wow,
conversations with my son, I've been wanting to
wow.
take him out of public school because some of sometimes people are like, "Oh, they need like don't do homeschool. They need the socialization." I don't like the socialization that he's getting at
Right,
a
right,
public school.
right.
And he's at a very good public school. It's a highly coveted school. The kids apply to it. They have all these
Mhm.
great programs. And
Wow,
he will come home asking us questions that are really political. And he just has these views on history. And I think what did it for me is he came home like, oh, because the Holocaust was worse than. I'm like, stop right there, and that next word better not be slavery. But that's where he was going, and I'm like, stop.
oh, hold
Stop.
on, hold on.
So, and like he's
Oh
come
my god.
home asking about like immigration, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But these are
Yeah,
conversations that they're
that's it.
having
Cool. Yeah.
amongst their peers in the cafeteria, and I'm like, okay, so now
Wow.
he comes home, and around dinner time, like homework, when we're winding down, now every single day it's like, all right, give me the tea, what's going on? And that's when he just like unloads, like, okay, so and so said this, is that
I
true? So and
love
so
this.
said
I
this,
love
is that?
that.
And now we have to unpack, and I have to
Wow. Wow.
change his perspective because he's the minority in that environment, right? So
Right.
if
Right.
everyone around you is saying one thing, he's just right along with his friends, and I have to ask,
Exactly.
okay, what is their
Oh,
background? Like,
right.
who are you talking to? Because this is not the case for us. So let me
Mm-hmm.
give you the background story. Let me show you what this really looks like. Let me give you all of the details, and then you arrive at your own conclusion.
That's
So
great.
then I'll tell him, like, okay, this is how it is. This may be the case for them. This is not the case for you. This is not the
Right.
case for your family. This is not the case with your background. This is what it looks like for you. And then he's like, oh, so why would they do that? Exactly. So why would they? So the other day he was like, but
Wow.
why would
Wow.
their parents vote for somebody who would do those things? Did they know? So now he's like, people couldn't possibly know. I'm like, honey, they knew.
Oh, oh, wow. It's like the root and all this, yeah, the rude awakening and all this stuff at what, 10?
Right. He's 12 now, and I'm
12
just
now.
like,
Wow.
this
Still
is a
not,
lot.
yeah.
Like, I just wanted you to go to school, and
And just have a school
like,
experience
this is
and
a lot to
yeah,
unpack, and a lot
yeah.
of these conversations I'm not ready to have with him. But if we don't, I can
Right.
already see somebody else is going to have that conversation,
Exactly.
and that's
That's
going to shape his
oh,
view.
oh my
So
gosh.
now
So true.
we're highly selective with, like, who are you talking to?
You
Who are
have
you
to be.
playing
You
with?
have
Where are
to
you
be.
going? No, we're not going to so and so's house. You're never going to so and so's house. It's not happening. And I just
Yeah,
have to be very like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're
it's not
right. You have
happening.
to. We are our only. We're the only gatekeepers. I
Yeah.
mean, we have to be the gatekeeper of our own children because they're going to learn certain things. They're going to see things. Unfortunately, when we're not around,
Yeah.
stuff's going to happen a certain way, um, and we have to just kind of figure out how we're going to have those talks and make sure that we. I think the main thing is keeping that open communication
Yeah. Most
so that they
definitely.
will have those talks with us. The fact that that becomes after dinner type thing with your son, that is
Mm-hmm.
so wonderful. And that's how it has to be. They have to be comfortable talking. We do that in the mornings, usually when we're getting ready, and it's like, Oh, so, how was camp? So what was this or what went on? And, we have those chats so we can see who's doing what kids saying what. Um, I know one of the questions I saw that um, when I was reading my sheet for
Mm-hmm.
before the show was about one of the hardest experiences. And one of my hardest experiences was knowing that another little kid that I like, and the mother is very cool, and we all are just copacetic.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's flowing and it's great. And then I find out her kid though was using bad language, was saying some things to my daughter that weren't appropriate. My daughter came back and "Brrr," she said, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I was
Oh.
like, oh no. So this was probably one of the hardest days because you have to sit back. You have to breathe
Mm-hmm.
and be cool. And she said, what?
Yeah.
Oh, remember it's a kid.
Yeah.
The kid is like 6. Okay, slow down. Whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
Don't run out and run up on nobody's
Right.
kid. Can't do that. That's not the way we do this.
Oh, you
That's
can't fight
not
kids?
appropriate.
Okay, okay.
Not appropriate. Not apropos.
Right.
Slow down. So you have to stop and you have to take a breath and then you have to take a beat because your kid is watching your response
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
And now you're shaping how this little person sees things. So I took a breath and I said, okay, first, I'm going to need you to tell me that story again. So slow down, tell me where you were, what went on before that, and then tell me that. So it gave me time to process.
Okay.
So I heard everything. I
Okay.
heard the whole thing
You
the
got
first
the
time.
tea. Okay, you
And
got
I
the
was like,
tea.
oh, heck no. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. This can't be happening. Not with this kid. No, no.
Right.
So I asked for that breakdown. And that allowed me time to calm down and listen, to just hear what my kid was saying other than the bad words. I could
Okay.
hear what went on first.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot because then I could also detect this. It almost sounded like this kid was doing something or saying something they'd heard somewhere
Yeah.
and then they try it out.
Yeah. Okay.
That's often happening. You don't know what's going on in other people's homes.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the kids are trying out what they saw or heard. And that's what it felt like. And so it wasn't right. And so I don't know if this is right. So, Doc, this will be something I can ask you your opinion about. So, what I did when this happened is I told my kid that yes, she's correct. That was not the right language. And I said, did you tell her that was not good? She said, yes, mommy. I told her she could not talk to me that way and that we don't use those words, those bad words, and we don't talk that way.
Mm.
And then I said, and did you walk away and tell her you weren't going to play or talk until she apologized? Or yes. And I went and did something else. And she was like, well, and she tried to make a reason. And then she told her some other thing like, well, and if you tell your mom that F her too,
Oh.
yes,
Oh.
yes, yes. And I said, "What?" That's where I lost my breath.
Oh.
That's where I lost my breath a little bit. I said, "Wait, wait, hold on. Mama can't breathe. Hold on." She said, "What?"
Oh
She said,
no.
"The what? The wind?" And I was like, "Oh my
And
god."
they're
So
6?
that
Oof.
this was crazy, and this is a kid that is not even her. You wouldn't even imagine that. It's like
Right.
seeing little Minnie Mouse and then hearing Minnie go, "Arr," and you're like, "Hey, that's not a Minnie Mouse trait." So
Right.
I had to take that in, and I said, "You know what? Okay." I said, "I'm gonna have to do something about that." So I was debating, okay, am I gonna call her mom and say that and then put this weird,
Yep.
little
Now it's gonna
thing
be
between maybe
awkward.
a
Yeah.
schism between me and mom, like mess up our little relationship, maybe put some weird energy between her and her kid to try to and get the little girl, because she shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
saying it. I said, or is there another way? I said, well, I'm just gonna wait and I'm gonna actually see this kid in another day or so. And that's what happened. I end up seeing the kid um one day, getting my kid and saw the kid there and another little kid. And I said, okay, I'm just gonna make this a three-way talk. And I just said, hey, check this out. I said, little lady, come. And she came. And then my kids were sitting, my kid was there and another kid. So it was good. So they all could
Yeah.
hear it. I didn't
Uh-huh.
want to isolate too much.
Correct.
That wasn't appropriate either. I didn't think I didn't want, to make the kid feel imbalanced. But she's very comfortable with me. So she's like, yeah, hey. And she came over. I said, okay, I know that some language was used the other day that is not appropriate for kiddies and young girls. We don't talk that way. And she's like, oh, I didn't say it. So and so said it. She immediately went to blame another
Mm-hmm.
kid.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, I know. I know where it came from, and I know that that was something that you were a part of, and I want to say that I want you to promise me you will not talk like that anymore
Mm.
because I have to talk to your mommy about that. And oh, okay, no, I won't say it. Okay, and I said okay. I said that's you're a lovely girl. You all are wonderful little people, and you have so many great things to do in life, and there's so many great words in the world. That wasn't one of them. So you're not gonna use that no more.
Okay.
You don't say that one. And she's like, okay. And that was the end. And that's been
Okay.
over a year or so ago. And that was the end of that. I
Okay.
haven't heard anymore. Now, some people say, well, you should go and
Like,
tell her
don't
mom.
address the child. Yeah.
Yeah, don't address the child and all that. I thought about all of that. I said, but the child was right there. And I just said, hey, you guys, I know some stuff was said, and
Mm-hmm.
y'all need to stop saying that. Okay, that's
Right.
all I'm going to say. I don't want to have to call back up. So
Y-
I'm just going to say, I don't want to hear about that anymore.
mm-hmm. And I
And
mean,
that
you
was,
guys, it sounds like you all already had a rapport in a relationship.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so in that case, if you're that comfortable with the parent, you guys have a relationship. I don't see an issue with that because
Yeah, yeah.
I
Later, me and the mom did talk. It
uh-huh,
ended up being
okay.
a little bit alone when we were up on our own, and I just said, "Hey, I had this little thing, and I just wanted to let you know." And I just told him, "No, baby might have said some stuff that I didn't really go over the word. I just said just a bad word, just something. Oh yeah, what?" I said no, and it was over a year ago.
Yeah.
Really? I said no. I just said I told all the kids they were all together that we don't use this language. I did a little
Uh-huh. A
banner
general, yeah.
little 10 general banner moment that went across. They all read the screen together and said,
Mhm.
okay. And that was the end. And so it was okay. But yeah, that was probably one of the toughest mommy moments to date because
Okay.
it was uh, just a raw boom. It was so such a big
Look.
word and a big expression, and then threw me in there. I wasn't even at the scene. I was like,
Yeah,
how
you're catching
did I get there?
strays.
Yeah, I'm getting, getting a little shrapnel. I wasn't even on the scene. I was like,
Right.
wait a minute, why I gotta be? How did this happen?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it stopped, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But guess what? Kids today, they are exposed to
Oh my gosh, it
too
doesn't stop.
much.
I'm sure that
Yeah.
was.
So that's mild compared to
Yeah,
what's to
sure.
come. So
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
And the more people they socialize with, the more you just welcome those opportunities for something
Yes,
unsavory
for them to
to
share.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I mean, that's life. So it's better to practice now while they're young, and it's good that your daughter had enough wherewithal to advocate for herself.
Yes,
And I don't know, that could be a part of like raising girls. I feel like girls have a lot more opportunities for those interactions. Sometimes we call it cattiness and things like that, but those interactions happen a lot more with girls, and it becomes a back and forth because they are learning to advocate for themselves. So that's
yes.
great that she's doing that at such a young
Mhm.
age, because on the flip side, my son, when he has those encounters, he has a tendency to shut down and he won't advocate for himself.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
is the type to be like, well, I don't want to lose a friend, so I'm not going to say anything.
Now
So,
that does happen. I having a girl and boy, I see the boys having a different kind of conversation normally, not as tough as the girls.
uh huh.
But my daughter was in the beginning. She learned, I think, because I worked with her and said, honey, you are strong and you are wonderful. You're a great friend. You're a loving person, and you deserve respectable friends that love and treat you great also.
Mm
And
hmm.
when they don't treat you as well as you treat them, then you say goodbye.
Yeah,
Or you say,
absolutely.
and when they're coming at you, well, then they kept saying, because she went through that the first, it's so crazy. First grade
Look, and I
was
have a 12-year-old going through it. Yeah, and you have a
yeah,
first
yeah, and
grader
these girls,
going
like you
through it.
said, the girls, they
Yeah, the
start
girls start
early, right in
early.
the chat, but she had to be trained and talked to or coached just like you're doing with your son that, hey, you need to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
Because if you don't take care of yourself, you'll get more of that because people will think that's okay to treat you that way,
Yeah,
and it's not
absolutely.
okay. So that was the main thing is not trying to necessarily build them for battle, but it is kind of teaching them to stand up for themselves.
Correct.
And then
And
it'll
do it
kick
in a
in.
way that's going to keep
Yeah.
them safe.
Okay.
And I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with my son and his age, the boys, middle school, like
Gosh, I
fighting
can
is
imagine.
not foreign to them at all. So
Oh,
now
and
it's
it
like,
could
okay,
pass.
you don't want to push the envelope too far because it can lead to a fight, it can lead to
Oh,
something major. We don't want to
yeah,
do that either. So we're just trying to find a way with him to strike the balance because then you don't want to be seen as a pushover either. Like
right,
he's a boy, so you don't want to
right.
be seen as a pushover. You don't want to be
Exactly,
seen as a tattletale. You don't want
exactly.
to be seen as soft because you're talking about your feelings. So it's all these other
Exactly.
things
All
that,
these other
yeah,
things.
normally I want to tell him, like, advocate for yourself, but then he's a boy. So that is
Yeah.
not cool at their middle school age
Oh my
to be
gosh.
saying, like,
But you know
I
what?
don't like how you said that and you hurt my feelings. Like, that is not.
Yeah. Well, you just have to teach him and that probably will be in one of your other books, is the code language or the cooler versions of self care and awareness.
Oh, yeah,
You
most
know, you
definitely.
can't say, hey, you just hurt my feelings. Say that. I'm going to say, you know what? That didn't feel good, bro.
Mhm. Or that's not cool. Yeah, I told
I didn't,
him
yeah,
like,
that wasn't cool what
yeah,
you said to me. I'm your friend.
yeah,
So I would say something that was kind of hurtful to your friend. So teaching them how to navigate the language, but still taking care of themselves. That is such a great point because yeah, boys are not allowed often to express themselves in the same
correct.
way that a young woman could or a young girl can.
Correct. Yeah.
That's
So it's
unfair.
definitely tough. And I'm
Yeah,
the type of mom, like, even with all these behavioral hats that I wear, like,
yeah,
that's my baby.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm the
exactly.
mom who will jump on the video game like, who said what?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, is that your mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will jump in the chat real quick, like on Fortnite and all. Like, give me this remote because the kids they game on Fortnite, and
Right.
Fortnite is insane. Like
Right.
anyway, that's a whole nother. But
Mine is
sometimes
doing the other one. They're doing that other one
the
right now.
Roblox and the yeah, that
Roblox.
one gets a little, but with Roblox it's more of a digital chat where they're typing to each
Okay.
other. But Fortnite, when he's playing, they can talk through the controller now. So when
Oh.
they're in the game, and when they open up the game, they can play with anybody who's online. So it's just people from everywhere, unless they like close the server and have a private server, and then it's a group of them that they know. But when they open the server, you hear all kind of stuff coming through this controller. And
Oh
one
my
day
gosh.
somebody
Really?
said something just so out of the way. I'm like, give me this remote.
Wow. What? Oh, see, I am not ready for that.
Yeah,
So like you have to be home when
it's
you're playing the games or else
yeah. And
you
that's
don't even
why
know.
he does not have the console in his room. We keep it in the living room, which
Oh,
it drives me nuts, but I feel like I need to know what's going on.
the
So
same.
he doesn't have like the gaming headset and that whole setup. He's in
Yeah,
the living room. We all can hear it. So
that's
if we
smart.
catch something, especially if it's kids that we know, I will
Yeah.
hop on there real quick, like, oh, wait, let me call your mama so she can hear it. Hold on, say it again. Like, I am that. So
Exactly.
all of his friends are like, ooh, AJ's mom,
Yeah.
ooh.
Oh, she that doctor with all that
Yeah,
science
like,
knowledge.
but
She's gonna get in
that's me.
trouble.
Like, I cannot because, and the kids are so sweet when they're in front of you.
Right,
And then
right. But
they
you
are just reckless. And our son will turn right back around, like, can so and so come to my house? Absolutely not. No. The one who was on the game who said no. I'm
oh my
still
God.
mad
Yeah,
about
that
my
kid? No,
my
what's
son
wrong with
has
that?
let it go. He's let it go. I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
mad
Yeah,
about it.
he's over it. He's over it. That's the same. This kid, I was like, oh my gosh. And I realized some kids just go at a higher speed.
Yeah.
They might have older siblings or something. So they're learning, they're on the next level of conversation when they really aren't. They passed that 6-year-old,
Yeah. Oh
five-year-old,
yeah.
6-year-old thing, and they're talking stuff, and you're like, wait a minute. So it's really difficult because you are not there. We can't be there every step. We
Correct.
are working, we're doing other things. They're in school without us. They're at camps. They're
Yeah.
doing these things. So you really have to really teach them about advocacy and taking care of themselves when we have them around us, and then just hope that they are following that system
Yeah,
and keep checking in,
absolutely.
keep talking to them and watching
Yeah.
them.
I just had that conversation with my sister a couple of days ago where, we always compare our upbringing to our children. And
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
sentiment across the board, and I know it's generational, the sentiment across the board is like, oh, these kids are soft, right? So I was
Right,
telling my sister, like, one thing that initially I used to get upset, but now I'm learning, I'm getting another certification in what we call like trauma informed yoga, right? So
nice.
we're teaching people how to cope with different stressors and how to
Right.
change
That's
behaviors through like yoga, through a
mhm.
physical means of physically modifying your body and changing your breathing and using all of those techniques to really help with managing self-regulation and internal events is what we call it. So I was telling my sister before I took the class, that was one thing that really used to irritate me and agitate me with my son, because I'm like, he is just so naive. Like, he's in this little bubble most of the time. Like, things are like sunshine and rainbows. And I'm like, no. Like, and you cannot go out into the world thinking like the best of everyone. I'm just so afraid that people are going to take advantage of you. Like, you need to advocate for yourself. You need to know how to spot bullshit from a mile away. Like, you need to and he's 12. So he's
He's
kind of like,
12.
what?
Let him have a little bit of those rainbows.
And
He's going to have plenty of time to be worrying about
right.
these clouds.
Right.
So
And
let
that's
him see
that's
some
what I told
rainbows and some
her.
birds and let him enjoy. And you can also teach that, yes, you have to be aware of what's going on, but let him keep some of that internal joy that he has because he's going to need that
And that's what I
to
told her.
heal.
I said,
Yeah, he's
when
going
we
to need
were his age, we were definitely way more independent, right?
that. Yeah,
So, but we had a lot more responsibility. We didn't have like our bubble, that that bubble was burst a long time ago for
yeah,
us,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
he's still in his bubble, and you know what? I like him being in his bubble.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he's having a childhood, and this is what childhood looks like. So I'm like,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
He's living his soft life.
right. Right, exactly.
Let
He
him live
hasn't been
his soft
exposed.
life. There's enough of that hardness and
Yeah,
all those other struggles to come. And hopefully, I'm still very hopeful that things will get better and brighter in their days later when they're adults, that
yeah.
they'll get past some of all this
Craziness.
wonkiness and
Yeah,
crazy dysfunction that we're dealing with. But we have to let them live some of that,
yeah,
that easy stuff. He should not have to be built up of all of this, this concrete and tough,
yeah.
tough
And
exterior
he's
stuff.
definitely like living his soft life.
I love that. Let him live his soft
Right.
life. Let
Yeah,
him do.
he
He wants to pick the flowers, the roses, and play with the turtles and cross the street with the little ducks. Let him. He's
right. So now
12.
I just observe and I'm like, "Oh, that's what you took from it." And he's just like,
Like, yeah, what
"Yeah."
were you thinking?
Yeah,
Mom, you need
even
to take a Calgon bath.
yeah,
You need
like
to
even
relax.
one of his friends, he said something crazy to him in the classroom in
Oh
front
my
of everyone. Like, it was around like his birthday, and basically my son was giving out his invitations. The
God.
teacher said he could pass out the invitations, and I already knew like the whole everybody needs to get an invitation, that kind of thing. Like, don't pass
Right,
out invitations and not give
right,
it
and
to
skip
somebody.
somebody. Right,
So
right.
there were a couple of kids in the class where I knew their moms personally. I had spoken to the mom. I even spoke to the child, like the kids, the day before. Like, you
Mhm.
guys are getting a digital invitation, because the kids that I don't really know and I don't
Mhm.
really know their parents, I'm sure their parents want something physical before they come
Yeah,
to like a
they can
birthday
see.
party. So
Right.
if you were like really close friends and I was cool with your parents, you got the digital invite. And the kids, they all saw the digital invite in the phone. And then the kids, where if I didn't have their parents' contact information, or if I didn't know the parents, but I knew the kids because sometimes I volunteer at the school, then those are the kids that got the physical. Lo and behold, one of the
Uh-oh.
kids who got a digital, and I still don't get it to this day. He received the digital. I spoke to him. I spoke to his mom. He got the digital.
He went and showed somebody who had a
he
hard copy.
yeah, and when he saw the hard copies going out, he called my son the P word for not giving him the physical invitation. Right, and he did it in
What?
front of everyone.
Oh
But my
no.
son at the time, Mr. Sunshine and Rainbows, he
I
doesn't even
love.
know what that is.
Yeah, he's like, what?
So now the other kids are like, "Don't let him call you that."
Right. It's
Like,
like, this is not. And he's like,
right.
whatever.
Yeah,
It's just an animal.
yeah, it became like a whole thing. So now you have other kids who have obviously been exposed to more like in their
Right.
homes and in
Right.
their life, and
Right.
they are just outraged. My
Yeah.
son is like, eh.
Yeah.
He's
Meh.
coming to my party
I love
anyway.
it. I love it. He's
And
like, you
all,
know what? You
yeah,
know what? AJ's going to change the world because of he's going to do big things for that right there. Because if you have to see and take everything to heart, do you know how overwhelming
yeah, how
and
heavy.
debilitating that
Yeah,
becomes?
yeah,
If every little
absolutely.
thing someone says, so basically, his soft life is intelligently coated with a hard exterior
Yeah,
because he is able to not sit there and take in that little stupidity
yeah,
and let it rewire him because everybody in the class is, man, you need to punch him. You
right.
need to do this. You need to call your mama. He just said, and he's like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, and I
No,
asked him
whatever.
about it because
I like animals.
I'm like, oh my goodness, he said it in front of everybody, and he was like, yeah, and he got
Oh,
in
whatever.
trouble, and so was really mad at him, and then so started picking on him, and like it just became a
Oh,
whole
so he's
thing.
popular too, and he's
Yeah,
popular for being
yeah.
who he is. See,
To have the
he's a
other kids
wonderful
advocating
human.
for him. Yeah,
He's a wonderful human, and it even though they all can't understand or express what they're experiencing the magic of AJ,
yeah,
and they are
absolutely.
protecting him. So it's really beautiful. See, you're gonna make me tear again. That is so beautiful to hear because that speaks to who he is. So what
Yeah,
you've been doing, what you've been building, what you've been nurturing with him, and then who he is, his own coloring is coming through that.
yeah,
And he's
and
standing. So he's advocating for himself when he said he chose not to go down the rabbit hole.
yeah, and I
He
even
is
asked
advocating
him.
for
I'm like,
himself.
well, how did that make you feel? And first he was like, "Well, what even is it?" I was like, "Another day.
Right,
I
right.
gotta figure that out. I don't really know how to explain that
I
one."
know. Okay, I can't help
So
you there. That's
yeah.
I'm like, okay, what are you? Eh. But I love that. And what he said, no, mom,
Well,
and he
he was
maybe
like,
just going,
"Well, I know his favorite rapper is so and so, and sometimes I think he just tries to be like him." And I was
wow,
like, "Okay." So he was like, I don't think he meant it. I just think he was just trying to be a cool kid." And
wow,
I was like,
that's so advanced.
okay. Like,
AJ is
can he not
amazing.
be a cool kid at your expense? Like, how do
Right, right.
we?
No, but it wasn't at AJ's expense because AJ didn't take that in.
Yeah,
So I
he
think it's how
didn't.
we look at things because that right there, what he has at 12, I'm gonna go ahead and share. I am learning how important that is as a grown ass woman
Okay.
and not take everybody's stuff. As I think it's my birth sign too. I'm into
Okay.
the astrology a little bit.
Okay.
Not that it's everything, but it is quite amazing because our body is, 75% water, and
Mhm.
to think that we could feel certain things or move certain ways due to the different tides and different things going on around us. I think there could be some rationale behind that. But
Mhm.
anyway, my thought is that I also know I'm an empath, so I
Okay.
take in what's going on for everybody. I find myself, working through not being a people pleaser.
Okay.
That's something I work on is doing what I need to do, doing for others because I want to do and do what I want to do, but not always need to be affected by someone else's view, someone else saying something that might not be what's happening.
Mhm.
Because people have their own crap. Like he
Yeah,
said,
absolutely.
that little kid's trying to be cool. He thinks that goofy rapper he's seeing is gonna make his world easy where he can maybe get a girlfriend or a date at prom one day because he's gonna try to be this person.
Right.
Your son was able to see that that's probably not totally who he is, but he's trying to be something. He's trying to get attention.
Yeah.
And I'm confident with who I am and what I'm doing. I don't even know what that is, but I'm me. So
Yeah.
I already know I'm me. So I don't need to run around the class and jump up and down or get excited. And there are people that are going to do that to him. So
Mhm.
I don't need
Yeah.
to do it. I got my people. So I'm just going to be myself. And those who love me and know I'm myself. That is huge. That's a trait that
Yeah.
as a grown up that I am still experiencing and realizing. The more you can let go of what other people think and say, we are not responsible. AJ is not responsible for what other people think or say about him.
Uh-huh.
That's not his responsibility.
Right.
That is huge. And if he's doing that already, hats off,
Yeah, and he
applaud,
even let the kid, I'm like,
standing ovation, because
yeah.
that is huge what he just said.
Yeah,
He
I
said,
was
I
like,
don't
"You
even
gonna
think
let
that's
this
him.
kid come
Trying
to
to
your
be,
party still?" And he was like, "Yeah, he can come."
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
"Okay." So,
And mama, you step back. You let him have his friends there.
yeah,
Now you can
I
be
did.
watching. You can
Yeah.
have the cameras on,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah.
can be Hawkeye watching what's going on. But let him experience, and this is something I'm learning too. We have to let them have their experiences. And kids are just kids still too. They are being shaped by what goes on around them.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
your kids see some value in this kid still and their friends, then you have to let them.
And he does it with everyone, so that's why I'm like,
That's beautiful.
"Oh, no. No."
No, it's fine. That's
Like,
him.
like
That's his
they are
magic.
mean. So it can be like
Wow.
the meanest kid, and then the next thing you know, that same mean kid is like, AJ, can I come to your house? So
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah,
trying to teach him to value himself a little bit more.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you value yourself a little bit more, then you need to teach people how to treat you.
Right.
So if they are treating you like they don't value you at that moment, then no, you can't come to my house
Mhm.
because you said
Amen.
this, you did this to me, it wasn't cool.
Mhm.
So why are you treating me this way but you still want to come over to my house? That's not okay. So
And then the
if you want to come to my house and hang out and play games, and then you need to treat me this way. So I'm trying
that's right.
to
Now that
reshape.
I think AJ, I think that's in him.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think AJ,
trying to
I know
pull it
AJ
out
quite well.
because
I think
he
it's
is
in him.
Mr. Like, for the most part, he
Yeah.
is nonchalant, cool as a cucumber all the time. So I just
Yeah.
find myself like, I don't want to poison the well, like,
Mm.
to make him I don't
Yeah.
know, just agitated all the
Yes.
time and
Yeah,
expecting the worst
yeah,
of
yeah, more
people.
defensive and always
Right.
ready to think someone's
Right,
coming
but
for
at the
him.
same time, I'm like, no, you need to value yourself and know that you are a cool kid. So people need to be cool with you consistently in order
Yeah.
to gain access to you. Don't just give people access to you
Right,
all the
right.
time just because.
Yeah.
Just because they know you're going to be cool. They can treat you
Mhm.
any kind of way if they're in front of like another group of friends that they want to impress, and then when they're with you one on one, they can be themselves and be cool with you. No, you need to be cool with me
They need to be
all the
cool with you all
time.
the time. He'll
Yeah.
get there. He's just 12 and he's 12.
Yeah.
Boys mature a lot slower than girls. So 12 is probably like still 9 for
Yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
you know. So
Compared to the
it'll
girls,
come
absolutely.
and it'll come because I don't know. I know a Johnny's parent, AJ's parents very well.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you know, family wise,
Yeah,
we
we're
family.
not going to let
We're
him like
family. He's
falter
not
at
gonna,
all.
he's
Yeah.
not gonna do that either. I have a feeling that because I have a trait like that, I'd say probably easygoing or oh, she's easygoing, yeah. But if it's not right, and if I have to get up, that's the thing. The easygoing ones can be the craziest.
That too.
If
Yeah,
stuff is
you're
not
right about
where it's supposed
that.
to be, and they come wrong, the person come wrong, and it come incorrectly, and it's not right. It's like, wait, hold on here. There's a problem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we allow people to be themselves. You allow people to, be a part of your world until there's something that gets them put
Yeah.
out of the kingdom. So it's
Absolutely.
like, don't get put out of the kingdom because then that's a whole other thing.
Right. So, what's the best advice that you've received about motherhood? Because we're talking about all these philosophies
Mm,
and what we're
mhm.
pouring into our kids. What's some of the best
Right.
advice that you've received?
To
Uh,
listen,
okay.
to stop and listen to the kid. Let the kid, let the child have some say about what happens
Mm,
with them. or on something, instead of us always being ready to, no, you're going to do this and that, this is what you do. Stop. And actually, now you can organize the question. You can plan it so that the choices are the choices that you need them to be in line with
Right.
while they're learning. But learning to self teach, or to allow them to, is it self-soothe? I think there's something that they used to say to us when we have babies,
Yeah, self-soothing, absolutely.
self-soothing,
Uh-huh.
like teaching a baby that, because if you run in the room every time the kid cries, every time, they're you're teaching that behavior. Now that's the behavior. The
Mhm.
kid might start
Is waiting
screaming
for
or crying or
you.
whatever,
Yeah.
waiting for you to come in there. And so now the baby's damn near 3 years old, and you still running in there every time they cry,
Yeah.
because you do not know how to self-soothe, which
Right.
starts from within.
Yeah,
It does.
absolutely.
So this all winds up back to the parent. You need to work on whatever it is for yourself, for ourselves, to be comfortable in ourselves, to trust that we have been doing the work with our child. And now it's time to allow the child to use their brain and say this. Like, you could say, okay, we haven't had dinner yet. So no, we don't we I don't want to have the dessert right now because we haven't eaten. What do you think? Do you think it's a good time to have dessert right now? Should we have dinner and then leave? Or just giving them a chance.
Yeah, give
Something,
them
and that
choices.
might have been a goofy choice. I'm trying to think of something non-food related, but I
Yeah,
love
just
food.
just
So
giving them choices, giving them
giving them
a
choices,
chance to give that input.
giving
Absolutely,
them
because that
choices, giving
helps.
that's the
Yeah, that helps with that intrinsic motivation, and it teaches them that they can make decisions. And we
exactly.
want them
And
to make decisions. I love that.
exactly, is letting your kids make some decisions, and not saying I'm not perfect at it. I'm also working on it, because us type A moms, which I know you are also, you know this already.
I'm working on
Type A
it.
mothers, and we're type AA. We're actually type AA mothers. So type AA mothers will have a tendency to already have the questions, already have the answers,
Yeah,
already have the organization of when each question needs to be, and da 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 da. And it can be stifling, or it can be an overload
correct.
to the child who needs to incorporate their own ideas and thoughts into their day to day.
Yeah,
And so we figure out a way, still keeping your kids safe. You don't tell them, okay, now it's almost 9 o'clock. If you want to go out, go out, go to
yeah.
your friend. Are you going to take an Uber or something? Well,
That
just be
free
back by.
range parenting. Oh,
Yeah,
they
I ain't
learn
talking
from
about that.
experience.
That's not my stilo. I'm not
Right.
talking about that. That's not who I am, and I'm not gonna be ashamed that that's not who I am. Some parents will be the ones that will send
Correct.
their kids, back and forth at a young age, going, I'm like, that's not me. So that's okay. There are other ways that I can give my kid autonomy. So
Mhm.
that's it. Give your kid figuring out the space and figuring out the proper aging for these things.
Yeah,
4
absolutely.
years old, that's not necessarily the time to give the same type of open parameter of ideals and opportunity as you would to a 13-year-old. You don't
Correct.
do that to a 4-year-old.
Correct.
So, being smart, and if you don't know any better, then you better go get somebody who does, for this style, and get help.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is get help. If
Yeah.
there's stuff, you're suffering and you're having a hard time doing this mommy thing, it's okay, because there's no manual for it.
Correct.
But get help. There's too many opportunities to have someone to help you do this. And make sure you do the research on who you're getting to help you.
Yeah,
But that's your
absolutely.
homework.
You have to
Your
be
homework is
careful.
getting someone good. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
go
have to
go
be
to
careful.
someone. Yes, get a referral, or go somewhere to someone, or someone that you think is a great parent. You're watching their kid. You see their kid being happy when they're not around, or you see that, you can tell in children, because they don't really have filters to cover that. So
Correct.
if they're going through something that's good or bad. So if you
Correct.
see a kid that you think is, oh, and the kid is excelling, the kid's having fun, and the kid is expressing that, then you think maybe their parent is a part of that, then maybe meet that parent.
Mhm.
Talk
Yeah,
to that
absolutely.
parent.
I
You
love
know,
that.
do it. And that, because that's when your village thing, it does take a village. It might be a village you don't know very well,
Correct.
but you're watching the interaction, or you're watching the motivation and the movement of this kid who looks like they're motivated about being in life.
Yeah.
So someone is helping them feel good about that.
Yeah,
Maybe that
absolutely.
person can help talk to you about what you're going through.
Yeah, I love
You know?
that. Okay, so as we come to a close with our interview, I just want the listeners to know, how can they contact you if they want to look into some of your products or if they want to follow you on social media? Can you tell us
Sure.
like a couple of websites or social media handles? What do you have if people want to
Yes,
contact you?
yes, yes. So I do have, there's a couple ways. I'm trying to see if I have my, I know that in August, mid August, I'm going to go, I guess, I don't know if you call it a soft launch because it will be the website, which is belleasebeauty.com,
Okay.
www.b as in boy, ELLE, L as in Larry, ISSE, beauty. So belleasebeauty.com will go live in mid August. So coming soon. Right now, I have Belle Lease Beauty, which is Belle underscore Lease underscore Beauty on IG. That
Okay.
is open now, and I'm have not put everything on the page yet. And for the first, once I get everything out on the page of the products that you can purchase, the first, I think we're doing the first 30 people. The first 30 people that come on there will get an extra, 15% off of their first order.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we're doing that just to entice people to come there. But right now, I'm so busy making customized products for people I know in the school system, like some of the moms and some of the parents who've had issues. And I'm actually making things. So I'm getting ready to get back to putting this stuff online. That I've got reviews of the products. And once this stuff is out, you'll be able to go there. So on IG, you can DM me
Okay.
from that page, from that Belle Lease Beauty. You also can, on the website, when that's up, you'll be able to communicate with me from there as well.
Okay.
And then there'll be info at belleasebeauty.com too. So all
Okay.
these things will be live. In the meantime, just DM me. Just go to the Belle Lease Beauty. Um, One other thing I'll say I've been doing and that I enjoy is you mentioned yoga, and that's something very important. Anything that you can do to help your core as a singer and vocalist, working with music for many years,
Mhm.
yoga was something that we did to get people to be comfortable and open.
Okay.
I'm so happy that you're doing that with the children too. That's
Y-
huge.
Yeah,
That's huge.
absolutely.
It's a calming thing. So I just thought about that for whatever reason because
Okay, no
all of a sudden I
problem.
thought about the namaste came to my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so get to me through those pages. That's the
Okay.
best way. IG is the best way right now. Just DM me, be one of the first, 50 people on there
Mhm.
to say hello, and we'll go from there.
Okay. And then I'll make sure when the episode comes out, we'll be sure to tag those pages. So when your
Oh,
mom
please.
card comes out, we'll tag those pages and everyone will be able to get the link and gravitate towards that page and check it out because you are doing
Thank
some amazing
you.
things. You are juggling
Thank
a
you.
million things, and I'm just so thankful that you were able to carve out some time to come on the show and share your experience with us and our listeners, because hopefully you've inspired another mom who's like sitting on an idea and hasn't really made any moves yet. Like, it's possible. They can see that it's possible,
It
and
is.
hopefully they're inspired to pursue their own goals that they have, just how you've done. So thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you.
time and coming on the show and sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lori, for having me. I'm excited, and I do want to keep up to when the show is going to air because I'll make sure that it coincides with the date the site goes live so that when they
Okay.
go there, I'll have everything there. And yes, and you can do anything, you can do it, but you just can't do everything at once.
Yeah.
So if your kids are taking up your first priority, you got newborns, this ain't for you yet, boo. Take care of the
Right.
babies. You can't be making products with no brand new baby laying up there trying to be fed. That is not what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So I want disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer.
Yeah.
You don't start these things until the kid is a little bit more of age and you or if you have help and or if you don't sleep like me, but you can still function, that's
Mhm.
important. You need your sleep, you need your rest. So I'm going back to at
Absolutely.
least 7 hours a night. I
Oh,
usually sleep
good.
5, 6 hours, but I'm going back to 7, 8. 8 is a bit much for me.
Okay.
It makes me a little bit, crazy. So 7 is my sweet spot. So get your rest
Yeah.
and do this later.
And it's good
Do
that
your
you point
thing.
that out, because a lot of times when you hear about different resources for
Mhm.
moms, sometimes they're not realistic, right?
Yes,
So anytime I have a mom on the show and they're doing some amazing things, I really want to know the inside out, like, be for real, because
that's right.
everyone's situation is not the same. So don't give us
Exactly.
this false sense of hope that we can do all these
Exactly.
things, and certain things are not in place. So,
Exactly.
it's great
That's
that you point that out, that, if
yes.
you have
Yes.
little ones, you have newborns, you're probably
Yeah, this is
up
not
every 2-3 hours trying to breastfeed
exactly.
or bottle feed or whatever. This ain't for you. So it's great.
And I tried it, and I'm telling you it ain't for you because I tried it. Because it,
Right.
like, 2 it my daughter was, like, 2, and my son was, like, 1 and a half, not 1, he was about 1, I guess,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, wow, I could start doing," and I was half asleep when I said that. "I could start doing maybe I should start trying to," and one of my girlfriends, she said, "Honey, you're not doing anything with those kids until they at least get to 5 or
Right.
so, 5 or 7." She said, "Give yourself the time
Yeah,
and the space.
absolutely.
Don't try to do," and I was like, "Oh my god, but there's so much still I gotta do." So I am getting here finally, but I
Mhm.
had to sit down. I had to
Yeah.
be real and focus on just getting enough sleep,
Yeah.
getting enough sleep just for my body. Just you have to recover,
Yeah,
and you have to
absolutely.
allow that. You need that every day. So rest, that's first. If you're not sleeping, get help with that. Because if you don't get, because that can mess up your brain.
Oh,
That
yeah.
shortens brain span. They say it can shorten your life, not even
Oh,
getting enough
yeah,
sleep.
it definitely.
So
I
I
was
heard
just telling
that.
my son about that. This summertime schedule is kind of crazy
Yeah.
right now, and I'm like, "Yep, and you're killing brain cells."
Right, right. And I know, see, that's why I'm saying don't jump into this ship I'm in right now because I'm still working on saving some of those cells because I know that I'm up too much. I have a friend, she's like, "Did you go to bed?" I'm like, "No, I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping." So I'm just working on that. And then at a
Mhm.
certain time, as we grow up, the body changes. You'll find that your body will start saying, "Okay, we need to lay down."
Yeah,
Your body will just
absolutely.
start telling you, "Go lay down now, or you're going to fall down." You're like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired." So I'm learning to listen to my body signals.
Yeah,
And some
absolutely.
days I just sleep longer, and some days I'm just great, right at
Mhm.
my 6, 7 hour thing. But when I need a 9 hour, it's not often, but I take it. So
Okay.
listen to your body and don't do it too soon. This is not
Right.
for newlyweds.
Okay. Well, thank you
Thank you,
again
honey.
for everything. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the launch of this episode and the launch of
Yay.
your line. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you
Congratulations.
so much. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. And hopefully I'll come back. We'll come
Okay.
back at some point.
Right, absolutely. Hey everyone, it's your favorite BCBAD here, Dr. DeLauren, and I'm here to ask you to help us continue making great content for listeners everywhere by visiting www.forshittymoms.com, where you can make a monthly contribution. Also, visit us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok at For Shitty Moms, and that's shitty with an X, not an I.